Welcome back. This is video 2. I hope you're liking your album cover. I'm going to tidy up a little bit. I did hear the audio and it seems to be pretty good, so we're going to continue on. I moved the mic up even a little closer to my face, so maybe that'll help with clearness, and I think it might be drowning out some of the background, so that's good. So the next thing we're going to do is grab our insert pages that we've built. And we're going to open up our album cover and we're going to slide each of these onto our little hinge. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull this away, not quite halfway. And I'm going to turn the album up so that I can see. And I guess I should find myself on camera. Bear with me and make sure that I keep my hands in. And then you probably want to pause and do it yourself too. It looks like I need to pull down a little bit. Glad I did that. All right. Oops, and I didn't mute, so give me a sec. Mute. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is get my eyes right down to the actual edge here and slide these over the hinge. Let's see if I got caught there. Oh, I think we were going to want to trim all of these, which might be a little fun here. So what I want you to do is take just a snippet on each of the edges, just at an angle. Which is going to help us because they're pretty tight fit, so it'll help us slide them down. I'm just snipping at an angle, and I'll do top and bottom. I went in a little too far. So I'm just getting one here. I can see it. Snipping that corner off. There we go. I guess it's not too hard here. Okay. Now I'm going to get one of my pockets. Go ahead and peel this back again like I had it. And now let's slide this guy on because we've cleared that. And then you want to, and by snipping the edges, it's going to help you not go all the way to the very edge. Leave about 1/16. So I've got just a little bit, and that makes sure that my pages open nice and flat. So now that I've got that on there, I'm going to go ahead and peel off my other side and press down. Now you're going to want something like a Cricut hook or a pair of scissors with a sharp tip or a X-Acto knife. So I've got a Cricut hook here, which I like. So when I go to the other side, I want to come up inside and get that two-sided tape and just gently, kind of like I'm fishing, pull that out and finish peeling it off and away. Whoops, and that one just broke off. All right, we'll go fishing up here at the top. I suppose you could throw some glue in there if you didn't want to do that. There it is. Get out of here. All right, and then I'm just pressing top and bottom. I'm going to do the same thing on all 6, so we've got 5 more to go. And I'm just going to press that down about halfway. Put my pouch over the top. And just about to the edge, but leave about 1/16. Lay it over. It's laying nice and straight. I'm going to press down so that that exposed tape grabbed, and then I'm holding still and pulling out and pressing down. So now I'm on my back side. This is where I'm going to peel off that tape that's under there. So I'm going to grab that hook. And press down. So again, don't be afraid to turn your papers, your pages the way that it's best for you to see. You see me flipping back and forth a lot. So I'm going to come back this way again. I've got the next hinge. Peel off about 1/2. Just gives it a chance to have a little bit of wiggle room if I need to. Making sure my pouch isn't glued shut. All right, whoops, just moved. All right, so now I'm going to lay it down as close to my edge as I can, leaving about 1/16. Laying nice and straight, so I'm finished pulling that off and press down. Flip to my back side, so I'm gonna go fishing. So you can lift up and get it with your fingernail. I just cut all my nails so they're really short. Which I don't really like, but I had one that was really broke off. So even them all up. All right, we're getting there. Next pouch. All right, I'm gonna make sure they're lined up about the same. Flip it over. Time to go fishing. You get the idea now. Olden days, when I first started making videos, I'd have some music going on, so you could hear some music while we were quiet. But with copyright laws, then they would delete the video. Like, oh, never thought about that. So no music. Oh, I'm moving the table. I bet that's wiggling the camera. Sorry. Last hinge, last insert. So don't be afraid. I get my eyeballs right down to the bottom of this. It's a little tight. There we go. We're going to call it press. Making sure everything's getting good contact. Last fishing expedition. And press. And our insert pages are in our album and it floats, right? We got good movement. Isn't that a fun little concept? I did not make that up. It was a Graphic 45 blog and they used policy envelopes. So I did make up the insert pages and all of the add-ons. And I adjusted it down to a 5x. It was kind of a more complicated dimension and I like simple dimensions. So, all right, let's go on to our insert pages. So now we've got some add-ons. We'll do set 1. So find your set 1. I've got a ruler sitting on top of mine. So here's my set 1. I've got 2 pieces. And let's find our instructions. And I'm going to bring my scoreboard back into camera. And I'll try to work on top of the scoreboard. Okay, so set 1, it says to score along the 5.5 at 1/2. We're going to do that for both pieces. So don't forget, fold over those scored lines and burnish. And then we're going to glue these. And I'm going to try to leave the same amount on the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball. And I don't want to glue over the edge into the fold so that that page still opens. I'm going to use my white glue because I like the quicker grab. I'm adding my first one to the left. And what's fun about this is then your paper that's underneath is going to peek through too when you design it. So it's really fun to see the other paper peeking through. All right, so then over to my right side to the very edge of that page, and then I'm just kind of making sure that my 2 pages that I cut are lining up. Okay. Now we're going to flip, find our back side, and go to our instructions about set 2. And that's our little belly band. So that's going to go right there. So we're going to lay it on the long end, and we're going to score both ends at 1/2. Fold over those little scores and burnish them. And then we're going to glue these right to the middle of this page. So here's my edge, so here's my middle. And I'll do my top piece first. I don't want it to be overhanging, so I'm kind of putting my finger there where I can feel the edge. Oops, there we go. And I'll do the same thing on this bottom edge. So there's a little belly band. Whoops, you gotta stay. Let's give it a good burnish. I'm gonna sneak under here and burnish it. All right, so there's our little belly band. I'm gonna let that set up before we tuck stuff under it. So page 3 is blank, which is nice because then you can feature your focal point, right? Whatever pictures you want. It'll have decorator paper, of course. All right, now set 4. So we need to find our set 4, and these we're going to score along the 5, and our scores are always going to be a 1/2 inch. So along that 5 line, oh, I snuck up out of camera, sorry. How did I do that? Well, hopefully by saying it, even if you didn't see it, you're keeping up with me. So I'm folding and burnishing. All right, I'm gonna have to move way down here. All right, so now I'm bringing my album back into the camera. So we're on page 4, or set 4, which is the back side of page 2. And we're going to glue this one to the top, and then we'll glue this one down to the bottom. All right? And I'm going to stand up now. I hope I don't cast too much of a shadow, because I want to be even on the right and the left. And nice and flush at that top. And lots of times for me to do that well, I need to stand up. Now we'll do our bottom piece. I'm just kind of making sure I'm lining it up with that paper that I just glued on. Looks nice and lined up. All right, and this is where I'm going to add a magnetic closure. This is optional. Whoops, get on there. So I think this one definitely we want a magnet. So let me get my mini magnets. You'll need your small. I don't think I have an opened set, so we're going to need to open. Oh, that opened up easy. Lots of times these don't open up so easy. Whew, that was a gift. All right, So I'm going to want to close this from this top flap. So I'm going to open up to the back side of that top flap and place my first magnet there. There we go. I'm just going to center it up, and I can bring it back a little bit. It gives me a lot of nice room here to glue my paper. This was a plus, so now I'm going to grab my minus. Place it right on top of my magnet. And when I press down to close, it will apply that second magnet perfectly aligned on the other piece of paper, just like that. All right, so that was set 4. So now 5, it's going to be a fun little waterfall. So let's get out set 5. So we have 4 pieces, and we're going to lay all of these along the 4 3/4 and score them at 1/2. Okay, and then the large piece along the 6 1/2, and we're going to score it at 1/2. So let's fold them all and get them ready. We'll build a cute little waterfall with kind of like a wallet close on top of it. So then when you pull that big wallet page open, it's a nice surprise to find all these little waterfall pieces. All right, so I'm going to bring my album back in. And these are going to be added to the left. So we'll start with our first one. We're going to leave a gap top and bottom that's as even as you can do. Okay, so I'm going to put my first one on this left side. Coming in maybe like 1/8 of an inch just to give it a little edge of that black when you see your designer paper. Open it up, burnish that down nicely, and then we'll glue the next one where that edge of the score begins is where we'll put the next one. Just waterfalling it down. So not on top of that score, but to the very edge of that paper. So it's folded over. I'm going to lay it to the edge. And I always fold my waterfall and see if they're lining up while I can still move them. So this way it'll hold a lot of pictures and journaling and whatever else you'd like to add. Whoops, I just slid it down. All right, there we go. Let's just double check myself. Okay, I'm just double checking here. It's all lining up nicely. Making sure it's all making good contact. And one more to go. Looks pretty even. All right, so then on the opposite end, on our right side, we're going to add our little closure. Okay. And we'll definitely need a magnet for this. So when I've got those opened up, I'm just going to lay this to my edge, and then I'm going to see that this piece is lined up to my little waterfall pieces. So that when I fold them over, this lines up nicely to that edge. All right, so let's get another set of little magnets. See all my trash? There we go. Oh, it doesn't matter, but I'll start with a little plus. Again, I want to leave a little room to glue my paper on top of this. So I'm coming in, and I'll add my minus. Peel off that adhesive. Press down my waterfall. Lay that over and press. So now my waterfall is closed up, and when you open it, you've got all of those picture spots. All right, let's flip again. I need to do a little housekeeping. Let me clean off the dried edge of my glue and put my pin in. And then one tip I heard one time was to lay it on its side. So this is for art glitter glue. All right, the next set is 6, which is going to be a fun little pocket that we put back here. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and we'll score it on 3 sides. So first we'll start along the 7.5. We'll score it at 1/2, turn it once, score again along the long side at 1/2, turn it once, and do it again. And that's it. We'll get our old trusty scissors and trim the corners where they intersect. I need to get a new chair every time I move. I hear it squeak. I need a new chair. And somebody was saying go look on, they sell gaming chairs, you know. If they're set up for comfortable extended sitting. All right, let's see how that lines up. Perfect. Okay, so again, close as you can, left and right, and the bottom, making our cute little pocket. All right, so I'm just going to line it up. I like that there's a little slide time. Don't want to go over my edge here, so I want it to be able to close. So now we have our little pocket. All right, let's find our set 7. This is also a pocket, but it's a little different set. So I marked 1 as my insert. This is a page we're going to slide in, but this is my pocket. So actually, I'm going to start here along my 5 3/4, and I'm going to score at 1/2, again at 1/2, and again at 1/2. Unbury my scissors. Fun. I don't do a lot of side pockets, but they're fun. So we'll get our book back into place here. We're going to lay it this direction now, and then we'll tuck the little insert in here. How do I hold it? There we go. All right, so again, I'm not going to go over the edge because I want that book page to be able to close nice and clear, crisp. Make sure it closes. Nice. Nothing's getting caught. And then our little insert page, which we'll decorate with decorator paper as well. Gets tucked in there. So that's 7. We leave 8 and 9 blank. They're for your pictures. We'll flip over to 10. So set 10, let's get our instructions. So this is the smaller piece, and we're going to lay it along the 3 3/4. And we're going to score it at 1/2. And then the next one, we're going to lay along the 5 3/4 and score it at a half. And the reason I like to design these is I found a pattern years ago, and this will then allow a nice focal point of one of your 3x4 cut aparts if you have any of those. I think you should cut this to 4 1/4. Because that's 3 1/4. So let's cut that to 4 1/4. Just get your trimmer and trim it to 4 1/4. And then I'll fix the instructions. And you might even have them, but just in case it's confusing, I'm cutting that to 4 1/4 because the power of this is we're going to glue this one to the right. And when you glue this one to the left, you can just throw a cute little 3x4 cut apart if you've got a collection like that. And it'll be perfectly matted with this paper. I'm just going to center it top and bottom here. And then we need a magnet. You don't have to have a magnet, but we'll put one on. Actually, it really doesn't need one. I don't know. Well, we'll put one on. It's overkill, but we'll do it for the camera. Magnets are a little expensive, so when I teach, I try to show you when you really need one and when maybe you don't so much need one. Because they're okay to flap until you open them. All right, last set, set number 11. Just one piece. And we're going to take that along the 6 1/2 and score it at 1/2. All right, so then this one is going to center up to the left as just one flap. And remember, I'm always looking here, top and bottom, and then not going over that edge where the scored line is. That feels good. And this one does not need a magnet. And then your number 12 is blank, and then your designer paper is what we'll glue over on top of this to cover your chipboard and your staples. Same thing here, you won't see your staples when you get your pretty designer paper on top. Oh, the other thing you can do, I don't have, here, I've got this ruler, it's kind of metal. You can press onto those staples just to make sure it's nice and flat before you glue your paper to them. Just like that. Just smooths them out a little bit more. Just like that. All right, so we are done. That concludes this fun little mini album. So I hope you love it. I hope you have fun decorating it. Closes up. Little floating hinge stays right there. So fun. And then your pages are tucked in. Really nice. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. It's not particularly hard, just those couple of moves, the way you want to get that floating hinge in. And have fun. And I'll see you at the next one. All right. I'm going to stand up and end the video. Bye for now.